Welcome to So Very Easy. My name is Laura, and let's make a really quick baby quilt. So for the quilting panel, I'm going to use this panel from Susie B's. What I like about it is there's enough print all the way around the outside that when I square it off, it's not going to come into the picture. Also, I'm going to self-bind it, which means the back fabric is going to come around to the front. So I'm going to need a little bit of space all the way around the outside so that the binding is not coming into the picture. Now I'm not adding any borders at all on this. I'm just going to take it and square it up. The next thing I'm going to use is this beautiful blue fabric from Shannon Fabrics. It's called Cuddle. And it's very much like a fleece. So you have one side that looks like the fabric, and the other side is this beautiful, soft, cuddly fabric. It's 100% polyester, so it's going to wash really, really well. The other thing is it's nice and thick, so I'm not going to use any batting at all. I'm just going to use the Cuddle and the panel. Now you can hand base them together if you'd like, but I'm going to use a spray adhesive, and this is just temporary, and it's going to hold the two layers together. Because this has a very slippery surface to it, it really is nice if you temporarily glue them together. In order to spray the two layers together, you do not want to stretch one layer or the other. You want to lay them together in the natural way that they want to go, because if not, what they're going to want to do is go back into their original shape. So I have an old flannel sheet. I like flannel because the fabric will stick to it, and I clamp it really tight onto some kind of a table. The clamps don't hurt the table, but it keeps that fabric from moving. The flannel can be as tight as you can get it. Then next, you're going to lay your backing on top with the right side down so the wrong side is up. And I take that Cuddle and I smooth it out with my hands. And I'm not stretching it, but I'm just having it nice and flat. That flannel and that Cuddle are going to sort of stick together. Put your panel on top of the Cuddle and smooth it out, and make sure you have lots all the way around the outside, because what we're going to do is we're going to take that back piece, we're going to fold it over to the front, and we're going to make the binding all at one step. Once it's all smoothed down, we're going to draw a couple of lines around the panel. It's going to seem a little strange, but it will work. The first thing we're going to do is just outline the panel, because we're going to want to pull that panel back and spray it so that the two sides stick together. We're going to need some kind of a guideline. So draw a line all the way around the outside of your panel. Once you have that perimeter drawn, you need to draw a line 2 inches all the way around the outside. And once you've had your 2 lines drawn all the way around, you can take your scissors and cut at the 2-inch mark. So the backing will be 2 inches bigger than the panel. Now do not cut into the flannel, you just want to cut the Cuddle. And it doesn't have to be really exact, so scissors will work perfectly fine. So here's the corner. You have the line where you traced the panel. Then you have the 2 inches out. This gives you this little block in the corner. And what you need to do is take your scissors and go from corner to corner and snip off that little triangle. And you don't need to measure it, just cut that triangle off. And you're going to cut that triangle off on all 4 corners. And once all the corners are done, we're going to be able to spray this together. And spraying these layers together, very easy. And once you have it all nice and flat, what you're going to do is you're going to peel back the top layer. Now, if you can do this in sections of 2, that's fine. If not, you can do it in sections of 4. And what's great about this flannel sheet being here is, number 1, it protects the surface. Number 2, it holds the fabric. And number 3, any of the spray that's going to go on this here flannel cloth is fine, because you're going to be able to take this, throw it in the wash, and it'll be ready for next time. So I'm going to take that and I'm just going to fold it in half because I have enough room to work on that side. What you're going to do is you're going to spray the entire surface of the back of this Cuddle right off to the edge of the fabric. When you have the one surface sprayed, you're going to be able to take this and place it right on top, following those first lines that you drew for the outside. Press it down. The next is going to do the second side. So I'm going to take that panel and I'm going to fold it in half again. And I'm going to spray this second half. Now I can take this, fold it back, and place it down. You can pick it up and reposition it if you need to, and gently smooth it down. So at no time are you stretching the top or you're stretching the cuddle. The only thing you've stretched is the flannel to hold everything tight. The next thing is folding the corners over. And here's that corner that we cut off. We're just going to take that and we're going to fold it right on top of the panel. And because this has been sprayed, it's going to stick. When the four corners have done, you need to spray a little bit of adhesive right there in that corner. I'll just take a piece of paper or something just to cover the quilt, so I'm just going to spray that corner. And following that 2-inch line, you're going to be able to take that border and fold it right on top of that quilt. And it's going to stick. Rub it down with your hands so it sticks well. And do the next side and flip it over. Now, if you did not have enough room for a 2-inch border, you could have made this an inch border. You could even have made it a 1/4 inch. Whatever size border you want is what you would have cut outside of that quilt edge. And when you fold the second side together, you're going to have a lovely little mitered corner, and it's stuck down. And that glue is going to hold those layers together really nicely while you get it quilted. Just for safe measures, I'm going to put 2 safety pins in the corners to hold those corners together while it's being quilted. You did not have to finish any of the raw edges because the Cuddle does not fray. To quilt this, there are 2 different needles you can give a try. If you have a stretch net needle at 90-14, or you can use a quilting needle at 90-14. And to quilt it, well, because we want it quick and easy, the fastest way is what's the most comfortable for you. If you want to put your walking foot on and start quilting it, that would be fine. If you want to just quilt around the pictures, that's fine, but you must remember that glue is only temporary. So if you have this big picture in the center, after it's washed, those fabrics are not going to be sticking together. So the fabrics are going to be apart from each other. So if you do not want to quilt on top of the panel, find some lines in the picture and go around the lines. So however you feel comfortable, set up your machine and quilt. The first thing I like to do is do a straight stitch all the way around, and I do stitch down those 2 corners. And when you're finished quilting it and you've stitched this edge down, well, the quilt is done. And look how pretty that back looks. Now, a couple of things to notice is that sometimes that back fabric will pull through to the front where you've stitched it. And that's okay. Once it's washed, it's all going to go away. It's just because that is very, very fluffy and it can't help but being pulled through because of the thickness. But it'll wash out just fine. The second thing is after you've set your machine up, you start stitching, you might notice that the stitches are starting to skip. Well, take a look at your needle because the adhesive has stuck onto the needle and that could cause a skipped stitch. So just take any machine oil, put it on a little cotton ball and clean that needle every couple of minutes. You're going to have no problem stitching these layers together. And when this is all done and it's put in the wash machine, all of that adhesive is going to wash out and it's all going to come nice, soft, and fluffy. Perfect for a baby's gift. It really is an afternoon project. Thank you for joining me today on Sew Very Easy. Feel free to subscribe, and as always, come on back. Let's see what we're sewing next time in the sewing room. Bye for now.